ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वतदेव गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्याम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। हरे कृष्ण। So, for the pleasure of Shri Shri Radha Gopi Vallabha, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Srila Prabhupada, and all the devotees of their lordships, today we'll be discussing on a very beautiful and a very interesting topic, pastimes of the merciful nature of Shri Jagannath. We'll speak about Lord Jagannath today. There are so many facets to the mercy of Lord Jagannath, but because it's strictly a 1 hour class, I'll keep it very basic and very short. I would like to draw your attention to 5 main aspects of Lord Jagannath's mercy. The first aspect of Lord Jagannath's mercy is the Rathayatra ceremony, the celebration of the cart, the Chariot Festival. We understand that Jagannath is the only personality in the whole of creation, the only form of their lordships, who enjoys a public ride like this. In no faith would you find this display. Even in the practice of Sanatana Dharma, you never find Lord Ramchandra coming out like this, or you never find Lord Krishna coming out like this. But you find the most merciful incarnation or personality, Sri Jagannath, coming out not alone but with his brother and sister also. It's such a big event. And I remember one devotee quoting this incident of the Rathayatra. He said very beautifully, I'll never forget this. He said, when you're very, very sick, he said, when you're sick, you go and see the doctor. Yes, when you're sick, you go and see the doctor, and the doctor gives you some medicine, and then you take that and you're cured. But when you're really sick and you can't even go to the doctor comes home. Yes, you just give him a call, and then he takes extra money, of course, but he would definitely come home and treat you. So in that way, those who have little faith, and at the same time those who are materially diseased, understand the reality, and they go and see the doctor, Sri Krishna, in the temple. But when people are really diseased, so much so that they have no idea how diseased they are, the doctor, the Supreme Lord, comes home. When you're diseased, you go and see the doctor. When you're really diseased, the doctor comes and sees you. So when you're materially diseased, you go and see Krishna or Jagannath in the temple. But when you're really diseased and you have no idea who the Lord is, the Lord comes out and sees you. And also we know the temple of Jagannath in Puri has some restrictions that only certain class of people can enter and others can't. But Jagannath, he is the Lord of the universe. How can we accept that only the Hindus can go and take darshan? If he's the Lord of the universe, the whole universe should be able to go and take his darshan. But only the Hindus are let in to the temple due to some reasons. So Jagannath said, okay, all right. The Hindus can come in and see me, and for the rest, I'll come out and see you. So it's never a problem. He's the only form of the Lord who's so merciful. So that's the first aspect as far as the Rathayatra is concerned. The second aspect of Jagannath are his eyes. He is the only personality who never sleeps. The temple in Jagannath Puri is closed only for 2 hours a day. Generally, the temples you'll find it's closed from 1 to 4 in the afternoon or 12:30 to 4 in some places. And then 8:45 or 8:30, 8:45, some places 9 o'clock. The doors are closed and it's believed that the Lord is taking rest. And then the doors open at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning. But if you go to Jagannath Puri even at 12:30 or 1 o'clock at night, you can go and see the Jagannath. He just takes rest for 2 hours. Now, the temple's closed for 2 hours. He doesn't rest during that time because it's believed during those 2 hours, the demigods come and see him. So 22 hours of the day, the humans, the mortals of this world go and take darshan. And then the demigods cannot share the same line, the same queue, the same space. So the 2 hours when Jagannath is unmanifest from our vision in the temple's closed, the doors are closed. The demigods, the celestial beings, the apsaras, the gandharvas, they come and take darshan. Now what's the proof that Jagannath doesn't sleep? Well, the fundamental logical reason is Jagannath doesn't have eyelids. He is the only form of Godhead who's so sweet, who's so merciful, that he wants to see his devotees without a single blink. Isn't that fascinating? I mean, devotees, even pure devotees, they keep blinking. And then the gopis curse Lord Brahma. When Krishna left Vrindavan, the gopis were cursing Brahma that what kind of crazy creator are you? You created these eyelids, and the eyelids open and close when Krishna is present. The lids close when Krishna is present, and the lids open when he is not. That's faulty creation. Because if the lids close when Krishna is present, there have been years and years and years, if you put the moments together, that Krishna is present before us, but we haven't seen him. But when Krishna has left Vrindavan, you have made these faulty eyes which still open. What's the use? The apple of our eye has already left, so to speak. So in that way, Jagannath, on the other hand, is so eager to see his devotees, he doesn't want to miss a single person. It's possible because thousands and thousands of people go and see him. So it's possible that Jagannath could just blink once and then he would have missed a devotee. So he doesn't want to blink. He's open all the time. No blinking. And his eyes, if you see, unlike the other personalities, it's circular. If you see Krishna, he has like nice oval-shaped eyes. So he can see only this much, the sidelong glance on both sides. But Jagannath, because it's circular, he can see everywhere and everyone. And at all times. So he's really the Lord of the universe. And his eyes, if you see, they are like the magnifying glass. They magnify even the slightest good quality in his devotees. Who's more merciful than Jagannath? So that's the second aspect of Jagannath's mercy. The first was Rathayatra. The second were the eyes of Jagannath. And now let's come to the third and most interesting aspect. We say that the age of Kali is the most fallen, and therefore the way of self-realization should be very simple. And then we say, oh, we cannot meditate, we cannot perform yajna, we cannot perform deity worship, and therefore the easiest way for us is to chant the holy names of Krishna. Easy said than done. Then we become devotees, and then we pick up our beads, and then we understand how difficult it is. And then we think, is this the easiest? Nothing easier than this? Because you find people sleeping during Bhagavatam classes. You find people sleeping during japa. And I have even seen people sleep at late night kirtans, slow 2-beat kirtans. But you never find a single person falling asleep while having prasad. So Jagannath says, wait a minute, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with the most easiest way of self-realization, that is chanting the holy name, but I think you guys are not qualified. I think the only thing all of you enjoy, that's Jagannath speaking, I think all of you just unanimously enjoy having prasadam. So let me gift that. And Jagannath appears as Anna Brahman, the Lord who has appeared in this world only to give his mercy through prasadam. So they say that you get the mercy of Sri Vrindavan Dham by rolling in the dust. You get the mercy of Mayapur Dham by taking a dip in the Ganga. And then you get mercy of Puri Dham by just eating up to the neck. So that's easiest. And you find people lining up to have prasadam of Jagannath. And it's considered to be so pure that the scriptures say the prasadam of Jagannath is considered to be so pure and sanctified that a brahmana can remove morsels of Jagannath's prasad from the mouth of a dog and share it. It's not contaminated. Because whatever Jagannath tastes, it's transcendental. In our conception, we understand prasadam is transcendental. So rice is transcendental, but rasgulla is more transcendental. So we pick rasgulla over this. But in Jagannath's preparation, everything is transcendental. And you'll find people mixing prasadam there. Like if you have 3 dishes there, they don't give you individually. Just mix it up and give you as Mahaprasad. So you cannot say, I want a little more of that and little less of this. Because you just mix up everything and that's Mahaprasad. And there's a very beautiful history of how Jagannath comes up with this strategy of Mahaprasad. One time, this is given in the Chaitanya Mangal by Lochandas Thakur, that one time Narada Muni, who's such a famous celestial singer and dancer when in ecstasy, he was traveling around the 14 planetary systems and he would serve Lakshmi Devi every day. He would go and bow down and loudly chant prayers and try to pacify her all the time. Whenever she's angry, whenever she's pleased, pray and just try to serve menially. So Lakshmi Devi one day asked Narad Muni, what's this all about? I mean, what's the aim? So Narad Muni said, well, I have only one wish. I want the remnants from the plate of Narayan, Lord Vishnu. And the day before that, Lord Narayan had told Lakshmi Devi, never ever give my remnants to anybody. And the next day Narad Muni comes and says, oh, this is all that I wish for. Lakshmi Devi said, okay, is there something next on the list? What's second? So Narada said, no, there's no second. There's only one and only one. That's I want the remnants of Lord Vishnu. Lakshmi said, that's not possible because yesterday I promised the Lord that I wouldn't give the remnants from his plate to anybody. I agreed to him and now I can't go back on my words. Narada said, please, this is all that I beg for. So now Lakshmi Devi was in a dilemma, in a fix, what to do. So that day when she was massaging the lotus feet of Narayan, her face was like really red. Because she was not in a mood, so I have to just do my service. So Lord Narayan asked her, what's it all about? In fact, he didn't ask at that point. After that, he started taking prasadam and she was still like that, in a bad mood. So he said, wait a minute, I'm not enjoying this. What's the thing? Why are you so, are you angry? Are you sad? Are you upset? What's the mood about? So Lakshmi Devi said, well, I promised you day before yesterday and I was fine with it. And yesterday, Narada Muni comes and he's begging for this, so I don't know what to do. So Lord Vishnu said, okay, do something. Today, while having prasadam, if I happen to look somewhere to the right or to the left, you take the plate away. So you give the remnants to Narada, but in a way that I don't see. So you're satisfying both. So Lakshmi Devi said, okay. So through her strategy, somehow, through the help of Garuda calls the Lord and the Lord looks to the side and Lakshmi Devi takes the plate. So now she takes the plate and gives the plate to Narada Muni. Narada Muni takes the plate and he finishes the plate, and by the time he's done, he's dancing in ecstasy and the hair is standing on end and he's crying and he's jumping and dancing so much so that he just leaves the 14 planetary systems and goes to Kailash. And he's dancing. And Lord Shiva asked him, why are you dancing? And Narad Muni is in ecstasy. He doesn't know what, he's literally drunk in intoxication. So he doesn't know what he's doing, why he's doing, where he's doing, to whom he's doing, because that's the law of destruction, mind you. So he says, oh, I just had a plate full of prasad. And you know how it feels when you're last in the line and everybody gets a plate, and then when you go on, and they say, oh, the prasadam is done. So Lord Shiva said, a plate of prasad? We are friends. I just hope you kept something for me. And Narada's like, oops, oh, I didn't think about you. And Lord Shiva starts literally getting angry. He said, how is it? We always chant bhajans together. You have prasad. We sing together, we dance together, and then prasadam you take and you don't partake with me. What's this? Search in your hands if there's any prasad. Narada Muni said, I washed my hands actually. There's no prasad. Lord Shiva said, okay, see your fingertips. He saw there's nothing. He said, oh, see inside your nails. And Narada checks everywhere, and on one corner of one of the nail of one of the fingers, there's one small piece of rice. He tells Lord Shiva, oh, that's all I have. Lord Shiva says, that's all I need. He takes that piece, he tastes it, and immediately he is able to remember the Lord, and he's dancing and he's singing. And you know what happens when Lord Shiva dances. That's the time of annihilation, total destruction. And Lord Shiva doesn't realize. He starts dancing, and there's high tides and waves, and the elephants are crying, and the lion is crying, and all of that description. And all the demigods come and said, what's happening? This is not the time for destruction. Look at the calendar. It's just 2016. I mean, that's not the end of the world. Why are you dancing? That's why are you dancing? So Lord Shiva said, oh. As he started explaining, Mother Parvati came. And he doesn't know. So he closes his eyes and he says, oh, Narada had the good fortune of tasting the prasad of Lord Vishnu. And I was so happy, so fortunate that I got one morsel, one small piece, grain of rice, and I'm so happy. And Parvati heard this. She said, I hope you kept something for me. And Lord Shiva said, but there was only one grain. And Parvati said, doesn't matter. One grain can be broken into 250%, two halves. Lord Shiva said, oh, I didn't think about it. And Mother Parvati became... By then Lord Shiva thought, he said, oh, actually to have the prasadam of the Lord, you should be really fortunate. I don't think that time of fortune has come in your life. And now this just blew her up. She said, what do you think? You're fortunate and I'm not fortunate? I partake in all the yajnas that you do. I partake in all the meditation that you do. And why am I not qualified? Lord Parvati starts getting angry and she starts meditating. And the heat of the meditation reaches Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu came. He said, what's the matter? Parvati said, you gave the remnants to Narada. Narada gave the remnants to Lord Shiva. And he wouldn't give it to me. He's the only odd man in this chain. And I'm really angry. I want prasadam. Vishnu, looking at Mother Parvati, he said, I'll give you the whole plate, but just calm down. He got a morsel. I'll give you the whole plate. Parvati said, no, it's not done. Not just for me. I want prasadam for all my children. And according to the scriptures, all the living entity in this material world are children of Parvati. Vishnu said, all right, tathastu. He thought it's just Kartikeya and Ganesh. So he thought instead of one plate, I have to give her 2 plates. She said, no. I manifest as Durga. I'm the fortress of this material world. So therefore, all these conditioned souls are my children. So you should give enough prasadam for everybody in this world. And Lord Vishnu smiles and he agrees. And that's how he agrees to come down as Lord Jagannath. And due to that promise given to Mother Parvati, Jagannath's prasad is distributed without any rules and regulations. It's given to everybody. When this promise was given, Lord Parvati said, I want Lord Shiva to be punished because he didn't give me. So Vishnu said, okay, I'll take care of that. He said, because Mother Parvati invoked the mercy for everybody, she will be close to me. But because Lord Vishnu didn't give her, he will be far away. So you find in Jagannath, Vishnu comes as Jagannath, Mother Parvati comes as Bimla Devi. And the temple of Bimla Devi is in the inner courtyard of Jagannath's temple. while the temple of Vishwanath, that is Lord Shiva, is in the outer circle. So it's like Vishnu has kept Bimla Devi closer and Lord Shiva farther away. So the prasad of Jagannath first goes to Bimla Devi. That's Parvati. And she partakes and then it's given out. So in Jagannath Puri, they call the prasad not just prasad, but Mahaprasad. Because it's prasad of Jagannath, which goes to Bimla Devi, Parvati, and then it becomes Maha, and then it's distributed out like that. So that's the third aspect of Jagannath's mercy. The first is Rathayatra. The second is he gives darshan. And this is the third. In fact, as far as prasadam is concerned, he had given a boon to King Indradyumna. King Indradyumna Maharaj, when he built the temple for Jagannath, he said, one of the boons that I want is that you should have so much prasad, so much prasad that you should eat, wash your hands, and before the water in your palms dry up, you should have again. So that's why they keep cooking for Jagannath, and the whole world gets the prasad of Jagannath. People may not be allowed entry inside the temple, but Jagannath comes out, and even his prasadam form comes out. So that's double mercy. So that's the third aspect. The fourth aspect is the personalities who are allowed service close to Jagannath. You will find generally in big temples, only the big pandits and the big priests and the big brahmanas, they serve the Lord. But in Jagannath temple, you will find the Shravara class. Who are the Shravaras? Are they brahmanas? Kshatriyas? Vaishyas? Shudras? Not even Shudras. They are fifth class. They are often considered as untouchables for generations. And Jagannath accepts personal service from that class. So he is the most magnanimous, the most munificent form.
You mean they cook for him?
There are different classes. There's one class which cooks for him. There's one class which does the deity worship. There's one class which does the shringar, etc. So I'm basically talking about the inner services as far as deity dress up and shringar is concerned. Not just that. Getting Jagannath out for Rathayatra is a big struggle. In South India, there are small deities, Arsha Vigraha. They don't come out. You can pick them out with one hand, and they won't come out. And Jagannath deity is so big and so huge, you have to tie a rope here, around Jagannath's waist. Then there are ropes on his hand. You literally hold ropes and you drag him out. It's impossible to think of treating the deity form of the Lord in that fashion. In fact, in one instance, one Panda from Jagannath Puri was explaining in one of the yatras that once they tied all that rope and Jagannath wouldn't come out because the deity was that heavy. So they tied one rope from the back of Jagannath and they were lifting him. It's only Jagannath who tolerates all this. And not just that, when he comes out on Rathayatra also with ropes everywhere. And he enjoys this reciprocation. And during one of the days in Jagannath Puri, during the Rathayatra ceremony, Jagannath comes out and you can actually embrace him. Anybody, everybody. You can go up to the chariot and you can literally embrace Jagannath. This is not possible in any temple of this world. Any deity, any temple. Even brahmanas from outside cannot come and embrace the deity. And here, you don't even know what people eat. People would have eaten... Sky is the imagination. So people would have eaten anything with bad habits, with bad mindset, and they can just go there and embrace Jagannath. I know one very dear devotee friend in Mumbai. He heard this thing that if you go and embrace Jagannath, and in the ear of Jagannath, you whisper your inner desire, that comes out true. So he didn't have a child for many, many years. Many, many years after marriage. And he just heard this and there was no hope. No medicines were working. Nothing was working. So he went on top of that chariot that day, embraced Jagannath, and in the ear he whispered his inner desire. And that very year, that very same year, his wife gave birth to a very beautiful child. And they named the child Neel Madhav, because that's the name of Jagannath. So Jagannath is so merciful. He can be embraced by everybody, he can be pulled by everybody, he can be served by everybody, and he can be loved by everybody. So that's the fourth aspect of Jagannath's mercy. And the fifth and the most important, I'll take the next 30 minutes for that, are the types of pastimes that Jagannath performs. There are three types of pastimes basically that Jagannath performs. The first is called as Garva Gunjan, which means he breaks the ego. He destroys the pride of the devotees and the non-devotees, whoever it is. So that's the first aspect of his leelas. First is called as Garva Gunjan. Garva means pride and Gunjan means to break. Garva Gunjan. So that's the first aspect. The second aspect of Jagannath's pastimes is Patita Pavan, where he becomes so accessible that he is ready to put his hand down and save the fallen. And the third aspect of his pastimes, or the third type of pastimes, is called as Bhakta Mana Ranjan, which means to enchant and attract and give pleasure to the sweet hearts of the devotees. Bhakta means devotees, Mana means heart, and Ranjan means give pleasure. We know this word, Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana, to give pleasure to the residents of Vrindavan, Vraja Jana. So Bhakta Mana Ranjan, to give pleasure to the mind and the hearts of the devotees. So on these three types, I would like to give you stories before we wrap up. Maybe one or two of each, depending on how much time we have. So which one do you want to start with first? Do you want to start with pastimes of Jagannath, where he's breaking the false ego? Or do you want to start with pastimes of Jagannath, where he's uplifting the fallen? Or do you want to start with pastimes where he's giving pleasure to the devotees? False ego. Everybody's having a smile. Something that we can relate to, probably. Some of us. Okay. So I'll tell you three quick pastimes as far as Jagannath breaking false ego, the breaking the pride or the arrogance of the devotee, the non-devotee, anybody who's approaching him. So one time, there was a very wealthy man. His name was Jagat Seth. Very wealthy. And he had come from southern part of India, and he had come to Jagannath Puri. So he got 1 lakh rupees. So 1 lakh is 100,000. And this is many, many centuries ago. So you can imagine 100,000 rupees at that point it's like almost $1 million. It's a lot of money. And at that point you would have fruits for maybe 4 cents or milk for like 10 cents. And at that point, here came a very wealthy merchant who had 100,000 rupees. He came and he said, "Look, I have heard that your Lord is the Lord of the universe." So, Lord of the universe means he would have big bills, a lot of money to pay. So this is my donation, 100,000 for your Lord. But the condition is, you should use 100,000 rupees for 1 day's expense. If it's split over days, I'll take the money back. It has to be used for 1 day expense. So the priest said, 1 day? And Jagannath just needs a few leaves and few mangoes and flowers, and that's not 100,000. I mean, I don't know how we'll use it. We can use this over a week or over a month. He said, nothing doing. I am a wealthy merchant. People should know that I donated 100,000 rupees. And it should be used for 1 day's expense. If it's not used for 1 day's expense, what kind of Lord of the universe is this deity? If he's Lord of the universe in the true sense, he should have big bills. If he's just taking some flowers and fruits worth a few cents, why do you call him the Lord of the universe? So the priests were really hurt because now he's playing on Lord Jagannath's sentiments. They said, okay. The head priest came in, he intervened and he said, we will ask Jagannath himself what he wants out of that money. So tonight we will pray to him and whatever he orders, that we'll do. So this merchant said, okay, no problem. So that night, the head pujari, he slept inside the door, the main temple. And he prayed to Jagannath. He left a letter And he said, a big puffed up merchant came today. Very honest Pujari. Said, he got this 100,000 rupees proposal, and he said it has to be used for 1 day. Now what can we do for 1 day's expense? You don't need so much of gold and things like that. I don't know what to do. So please give me an answer. So that night Jagannath appeared in the head priest's dream. Now listen to what Jagannath says. Very, very fascinating. He said, go and tell that merchant I want a betel nut leaf. Okay? So this priest said, betel nut leaf? Now the fruits cost, if they cost like 4 cents, the betel nut would be like a cent. And that's what you want me to ask the merchant? Yes. Jagannath said, go and ask him for a betel nut leaf. They call it pan in India. Yes? Betel nut. Go and ask him for that. But instead of putting the cover in, you put ingredients inside the pan, the betel nut. Instead of putting the regular ingredients, I want him to crush the jewel and make it a paste. Which jewel? That jewel which is found in the forehead of an elephant. Now they went, now it's very difficult. It's believed that the rarest of the rare elephants, 1 in thousands, are born naturally with a jewel inside their head, in the forehead, in the socket of their forehead, inside. So many of the hunters, they kill elephants just to see if there's the jewel inside. So you have to kill 1,000 elephants to get to that jewel, and you're not sure. And that jewel has to be removed out of the head of the elephant and crushed into a paste, and that has to be put inside that betel nut and offered to Jagannath. This is Jagannath's point. Now to sponsor that, the jewel is more than $1 billion, billion rupees in that conversion. It's very expensive, more than $1 million, so to speak. So the merchant came next morning with a pagdi and gold plated, everything, because he knew today is the day Jagannath is going to tell me what he wants. So the priest came out. He said, oh, Jagannath answered. Acha, what does Jagannath want? How can I donate that 100,000 rupees? Well, Jagannath wants a betel nut leaf from you. Huh? That's it? Are you guys crazy? What is this? I'm ready to come and offer 100,000 rupees and you just want a betel nut leaf? Listen, the story is half heard. Now inside, you have to put the paste. You have to crush the jewel found from the head of the forehead of the elephant. Now this merchant said, forehead of the elephant? Now how do I get that? And even if I have to sponsor jewels worth that much, it's more than 100,000. I can't afford that. I can just give you 100,000. Now, I really can't. And when he was really pleading and saying that, the head priest was smiling because he now understood that Jagannath had humbled him. So this merchant, he removed his turban, kept it at the feet of Jagannath. He said, my lord, I have this 100,000 rupees. It's all yours. Do whatever you want. I cannot give you the paste or the jewel. This is all that I have. Please accept. And then he gave it to him. In this way, Jagannath crushed the pride of that merchant who came with the pride of his wealth. At another instant, there was another person who came with the pride of his learning, education, scholarship. There was a very big erudite scholar and a Kashmiri Pandit, a priest, by the name Udayanacharya. He had read in the scripture that by seeing Jagannath face to face, you will get mukti, liberation. He had no faith. He knew so many verses and so much of philosophy, but he couldn't believe how can you get liberation from material existence just by looking at this deity? It's impossible. So just to test and examine this fact, he came to take darshan. Next morning, he took a nice bath and he came to take darshan. And the pujari is trying to open the door won't open. Jagannath had locked the door from inside. He said, how's the door locked from inside? Hey, why is this not opening? It wouldn't open. Udayanacharya was waiting all day for darshan. The doors wouldn't open. Real life story. All day, Jagannath didn't give darshan. That night, the head priest asked Jagannath in his dream, he said, what is all this about? Why didn't you give darshan? Jagannath came in the dream and said, there is a so-called puffed up scholar by the name Udayanacharya. He came to test the verdict of the scripture that by looking at me you can get liberation. How is it possible by looking at this person with large eyes and no hands you can get mukti? Impossible. He had no faith, so much doubt. So I wanted to just crush his false ego. I didn't give him darshan. That's all. I will not open my door till the time that guy doesn't leave Puri. So next day Udayanacharya took snan, he took his bath and he came, did all his Gayatri, everything is perfect. He came for darshan. And the head pujari is calling out, who is Udayanacharya here? And nobody is responding. And finally this scholar came and said, I am Udayanacharya, by the way. So he said, yes, I have a message for you from Jagannath. Please come close. I will tell you in your ears. He said, no, you can publicly announce. Because he was confident that there was something really good. He said, no, you can publicly announce. The priest said, okay, whatever you think is appropriate. Jagannath said he wouldn't open the door and give darshan to anybody till the time you don't leave Puri. He said, why? Why me? So he said, it's you because Lord Jagannath told me that you came to Puri not to take darshan, but just to test the scripture. So, no darshan for you, get out. So he became very humble. He was crying repeatedly. He said, my Lord Jagannath, what is the use of all my scholarship? What is the use of all my reading ability? What is the use of all my reading of the scriptures and being proud of being a Brahmin and aristocratic birth? It's all useless, my Lord, if I can't see you. I am a beggar at your doorstep. Please give me darshan. And as soon as he said that, the door opened. So then Udayanacharya took darshan in a very humble mood, and Jagannath was smiling. He said, now I taught you a lesson. Now you know who you are. So in this way, Jagannath humbled the wealthy merchant. He humbled Udayanacharya. So these are stories as far as the Garva Gunjan Leela is concerned. I'll tell you one more, because Jagannath crushing the false ego is something that we can probably relate to. And not just for non-devotees, he does it even for the best among best of the devotees. Who is the best devotee? Sudarshan. Chakra? It's a very dear devotee of the Lord. He's always in the right hand of the Lord. So one day Sudarshan Chakra felt, I am the one who protects the Lord. Vishnu is known as the one who holds the Sudarshan Chakra. So I am so special. And I am always on the right hand. Look, the other weapons are on the left hand. I am on the right hand. So I am so special. And Jagannath noticed this. That, oh, my dear Sudarshan, you're having something special. I can kick you out for it. So they were all sitting together. Lord Jagannath, Subhadra Devi, and Baladev, and then Sudarshan. Sudarshan was in the form of a murti. And he was bowing down to Jagannath like this. But in his mind, he was proud. So Lord Jagannath told Sudarshan, oh my dear Sudarshan, in the southern side of the ocean, there is an island. And in the middle of the island, there is a great devotee who is very, very dear to me. Sudarshan said, I am here. Who's that great devotee? Who's that person who's very dear to you? I am here, my Lord. He was mentally thinking. Then he asked, who is this devotee who's dear to you and who's a great devotee? Who's that? Is it me? So who is it? Jagannath said, oh, my dear devotee Hanuman is sitting and performing tapasya there. Tapasvi Hanuman. He's performing tapasya, austerity. Please go and tell him his Ramchandra is calling him. His dear Lord is calling him. So Sudarshan, Lord Sudarshan, he went and he called out to Hanuman, and Hanuman was in the middle of chanting the names of Lord Ram. He said, oh Hanuman, your dear Lord Ramchandra in the form of Jagannath is inviting you, please come. Hanuman said, you go, I'll come. Sudarshan, in this speed of the mind, reached the temple before Hanuman. And he said, now I want to test this devotee, how powerful he is. So in all 4 gates of the temple, he was spinning. He split himself into 4 portions, and Sudarshan Chakra was spinning at the gate, all 4 gates, in such a way that Hanuman cannot enter. So Hanuman came to one gate. So why is the Sudarshan here? He said, Sudarshan, you were the one who invited me. Let me get in. Oh, maybe the other gate is open. Okay, no problem. Then he went to the other gate. Sudarshan is spinning even there. Then the 3rd gate, Sudarshan is spinning. 4th gate, Sudarshan is spinning. He said, what is this? And he could see the pride in Sudarshan. So he prayed to Jagannath. And by praying to Jagannath, Jagannath gave him 6 more hands. So Hanuman, you know what he can do with 2 hands. When his tail was set on fire, he set the whole Lanka on fire. Just when he wanted to go to the gym, he went to Lanka and he played with some of Ravana's men. So that's Hanuman with 2 hands. Now he got 6 hands. So with the 6 hands, he just used 4 of them and caught 4 of the 4 Sudarshan Chakras, and he was just holding them. He wouldn't let them spin. He just held them like this. And he entered. Sudarshan was sitting inside and he was thinking, there's no way he's going to come. Because, I have set the plan, set the scene. So there's no way he can come. And here is Hanuman coming with all 4 discs in his hand. And Sudarshan is trying to spin, but Hanuman is holding so strongly that they can't spin. And 4 hands, and with 2 hands he's folding his palms and bowing down to Jagannath. And with 2 hands he's chanting also. So very comfortable. It's not that he's trying to hold the chakra, very difficult. 4 hands, 2 hands he's praying, and 2 hands he's chanting also, very blissfully. So he entered. Sudarshan was looking at, what is this? How come? Jagannath said, come, my dear devotee, please come. Please. And he looked at Sudarshan. Sudarshan looked at the Lord and he was embarrassed because he knows now something is going on. Hanuman smiled and he said, I wanted to come in, but I just saw these 4 mosquitoes, so I just cut them for you. Jagannath started laughing. He looked at Sudarshan and he said, I saw the false ego in you. So I called Hanuman just to crush your false ego. Now because of this, you who's always proud that I hold you in my right hand, from now you will be in my left side. So I tried seeing here, but I couldn't find. Maybe it's there, it's not. But generally you will find Baldev, and then Subhadra, and then Jagannath, and then there is a stick. Have you seen? So instead of the chakra, next to Jagannath, Sudarshan is as a stick. So he said, you behaved like a stick, so now you should stand like a stick. And you will not be to my right, you will be to my left. Sudarshan fell at the feet of Jagannath. He said, I'm sorry, my lord, please give me some benediction also. He said, okay. The benediction for you is that you will be non-different from me and you will be on top of the temple. Anybody who takes darshan of the Sudarshan Chakra on top of the Jagannath temple, they will get as much merit as much as seeing me face to face. So you will be non-different and you will be on the top. And we know this, how wonderfully Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would tell Haridas Thakur, you cannot enter the temple, but just take darshan of the Sudarshan Chakra. By taking darshan, by glancing at the chakra on top of the temple, you get the same merit as seeing the Lord. And Sanatan Goswami would see the chakra and bow down. Haridas Thakur would see the chakra and bow down. Rupa Goswami would see the chakra and bow down. And in fact, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would see the chakra and he would see it non-different than his Shyam Sundar. Sthavara Jangama dekhi na dekhi, Tara Murti. Sarvatra hai nija Ishtadeva Spurti. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, those who have love for Krishna, they don't see moving, non-moving things in this world. Everything that they see, that just reminds them of the object of their love. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would see the chakra, he would see Shyam Sundar and he would faint. And then again he would get up, he would see the chakra, bow down and faint. And in this way he would reach the temple. So this is how Lord Jagannath does the first aspect of his pastimes, that is the Garva Gunjan. Now we'll go to the second and the third, one story each, and then we'll wrap up. The second aspect of Jagannath's pastimes is the Patita Pavan aspect. So one time there was a very great king called as King Ramchandra Dev. And he ruled the province of Jagannath Puri. He was the king there. But this was the time when the Mughals were in control, the Muslim emperors, the rulers, and they would rule from Delhi. And King Ramchandra Dev was in Orissa, in Jagannath Puri. So one of the Mughal emperors, he tried to attack the temple. So Ramchandra Dev, he protected, fought, but unfortunately he lost. Now when you lose a battle, the rule at that time was the winning king would make the losing king as his slave. So this Mughal emperor by the name Taki Khan, he caught hold of Maharaj Ramchandra Dev and he said, you lost to me, so now you're my slave. And you have to do as I tell you to do. This emperor had a plan. He saw so many people come to Jagannath's temple, they offer so much of donation. Only if I could somehow befriend this king of Puri, then I can take all the wealth. So he said, oh, you're like my family member. Why not make this friendship of ours into a formal relationship? Would you kindly marry my sister? King Ramchandra Dev said, that's not possible because I'm a Hindu and you're a Muslim. And if I marry your sister, I would become a Muslim and then I can enter the temple of Jagannath. Because non-Hindus are not allowed. I can enter. Taki Khan said, if you don't accept to what I'm saying, I will destroy the temple. I will destroy the temple of Jagannath. I will give you 24 hours time. Think about it. Till the time you're going to be in the jail. So he sent the Hindu king Ramchandra Dev into the prison and he said, tomorrow morning you should reply. If you are ready to marry my sister, I'm very happy. If you say no, then I'm going to destroy the temple. So now this king was in a fix what to do. He was praying to Jagannath. That night, that sister came. Taki Khan's sister, Razia. Is it confusing? Too many names? Okay. So Razia came. And she said, oh, Ramchandra Dev, I think you should marry me. No, I cannot marry you. I want to go and see Jagannath. If I marry you, they will not let me. That's not possible. And I already have my family. I have my queens. I cannot marry you. She said, no, don't think like that. Look, if you marry me, then Jagannath will be safe. My mother is Hindu. My father forced her into a marriage. So therefore, my mother is Hindu, so half of my blood is Hindu. And we are devotees of Jagannath. Listen to me. Just marry me, and in this way, Taki Khan will become your relative, and he will not destroy the temple of Jagannath. For the safety of Jagannath, go and take this risk. So he said, okay. He married her, and then after that, so many things followed. What happened? People considered him as a social outcast. They didn't think that he made a sacrifice. They thought he was lusty. They said, you're already married and you're still marrying her. This is not acceptable. And she's Muslim. You have become Muslim. You cannot enter the temple. And the king of Puri has the privilege of using the golden broom during Rathayatra. That was taken away from him. He couldn't enter and see Jagannath. For the protection of the king of Puri, on every Ekadashi, they offer ghee lamp on top of the temple. And they pray to the Lord for giving long life to the king. They stopped that for him. They said, no, you die. We don't care about you. We are not going to pray anything for you. You get lost. So he was feeling just miserable. So he prayed to Jagannath, Jagannath, I cannot live without seeing you. Please come and give me darshan. For so many days I have not entered. Every morning and every evening for years I would come and see you. And I took this step only to protect your temple. My Lord, you taste the love in the heart of the devotees. Please answer my prayer. I am living and dying only for you. Please reveal yourself to me. Jagannath Swamy Nyan Patagami Bhava tume. This in Sanskrit means, O Lord of the universe, Jagannath Swamy Nayana Patha, on the pathway of my vision, please appear. Please manifest yourself completely before the pathway of my eyes. Jagannath Swamy Nayana Patagami Bhava Tume. All of us can chant this in front of Jagannath. This comes from the Jagannath Ashtakam, which was chanted by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So hearing the prayers of Ramchandra Dev, who was praying at the doorstep of the Simhadwaram gate, the outside gate of Jagannath temple, Jagannath came from inside, running, came to the doorstep and showed his form with 4 hands. And the king saw and he fainted.
Yeah, he ran.
Yes, the Lord ran from the altar and went to the doorstep for this king, in real. And the king saw and he fainted and the Lord went back. So the king thought, this seems to be a good plan. This place seems to work. So every evening he would come and pray there. And every evening or every night, Jagannath would come running when there's nobody around, come running and show himself, reveal himself to this king. The pandas, the pujaris, they would open the door in the morning and there's flower garlands everywhere. There's a piece of the cloth of the Lord. What is this? How come? The Lord is there, but how is this happening? So then they prayed. They thought maybe some animal is coming inside the temple, or maybe there's some trespassers or intruders or God knows who. Maybe some Muslim rulers are coming inside. Who knows? But then in the dream of the head pujari, Jagannath revealed, this king is very special personality. For him I have appeared. And I will continue to appear at that place. And I will be known as Patita Pavan. Patita Pavan means the uplifter of the fallen. So the king, although he was a pure devotee, he was considered a social outcast. But Jagannath would come and give him darshan there, Patit Pavan. So even now when you go to the Simhadwaram gate, to the right side, before you enter, there is a small deity, a representation of Patita Pavan. Those who can't enter can see that deity. They can see Chakra, they can see that deity and they can have prasad. So you have Jagannath with you. So Jagannath said, this is the place where I gave darshan to King Ramchandra Dev, and anybody who takes darshan of this Patita Pavan Murti, they get the same benefit. So we said 1, Garva Gunjan, then we say Patita Pavan, and last is Bhakta Manoranjan, giving pleasure to the mind of the devotees. In fact, there are so many pastimes, but since time is really short, I'll give you a quick story. And then sometime when we have time, we can go on and on with more pastimes of Lord Jagannath. It's very entertaining. We all see movies because we want to entertain our senses, but Jagannath is ready to give everything. So one time there was a great devotee by the name Dasya Bauri. Such a great devotee of Lord Jagannath. He was again a social outcast. So it seems to work to be a social outcast. It seems Jagannath gives more mercy if you're not in the high class, according to birth. So Dasya Bauri, he saw the eyes of Jagannath once. And those who have seen the eyes of Jagannath, how many colors are there in Lord Jagannath's eyes? 3. What are they? Red. Red and then? White and? Black. Yes? So next time we see Jagannath, we will see these 3 eyes, these 3 colors. So he saw Jagannath's eyes, Dasya Bauri. He saw these 3 colors, and everywhere he saw 3 colors, he would think of Jagannath's eyes. He was so tired one day that he asked his wife, can you serve little prasad? And his wife got a plate, put lots of rice, and on the top put spinach, little spinach. The spinach was old, little old. So the color had become little dark. The plate was reddish, and there was a mountain of white rice, and on the top was little spinach, which looked black. Dasya Bauri saw this, and he said, red, white, black, this is Jagannath's eyes. And he started dancing. He danced and danced and danced and danced, and his wife was thinking, I thought he was tired and he wanted prasad now. He's got more energy just by looking at it. So in this way, Jagannath reciprocates with his devotees, even in places where he is not present. He is in the heart of his devotees. And that love for Jagannath in the heart of the devotee is seen in everything that they see. He saw a plate and he saw rice and he saw little spinach. But because Jagannath is looking for an opportunity to give pleasure to the mind of his pure devotees, he didn't let Dasya Bauri see that as plate, rice and spinach. But Jagannath said, oh, that's my eyes. Look, take darshan. So Dasya Bauri saw and he started dancing, and very beautiful story. In fact, there are so many stories in the life of Dasya Bauri and Tolicha Mahapatra, etc. Great devotees who lived in Jagannath Puri. So on that note, I'd like to stop. Just taking just a quick recap before we wrap up. 5 quick points that we covered. The first aspect of mercy was Jagannath comes out. You don't have to go in, he comes out to see you through Rathayatra. The second aspect was the eyes of Jagannath. He never sleeps, has no eyelids. Third aspect of the mercy was Mahaprasad. The fourth was the serving class. And the fifth was the Leelas. Garva Gunjan, Petite Pavan, and Bhakta Manoranjan. So in this way, Lord Jagannath showers us unlimited mercy. Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Mai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanande